Hello, everybody. I'm Jack Minnelli, the filmmaker behind When Julian Saved Kay, and this is the behind the scenes. When Julian Saved Kay was originally called Flash because it was going to be a pretty experimental short film, be about a minute and a half, and it would have basically the same beginning, but the guts of the film would be pretty different because it would be just like I said, flash. It would be flashes of those scenes and ultimately having the same ending, but again being told in a very different way. I ultimately changed the idea to a non-experimental short film because I really fell in love with the story itself and that structure of having the end of the film being the beginning and the end, and then the middle being the guts and fleshing those guts out. I was rewatching The Godfather when I was writing the initial draft of, like I said, the film called Flash, and I've always been a gangster fan. I already knew this was gonna have hitman and a gangster involved, and I don't know. I just was watching it, and I was writing the first draft, and that's when I came with the name Kay, because if you're a Godfather fan, you know Kay is the Michael's girlfriend slash wife. And then I was watching a bunch of Paul Schrader films like Light Sleeper and American Gigolo, and that's when I changed David's name to Julian, inspired by American Gigolo character himself, Julian. And then I changed whatever the gangster's name was. I changed that to Paul because of Paul Schrader. And I was listening to a bunch of Paul Schrader's interviews and listening to him talk about transcendental film, and I really wanted to experiment with that. So that's why some of the takes on the film When Julian Saved Kay is a little longer than they probably should be, because I'm trying to get to that point of transcendental cinema. So for When Julian Saved Kay, I went to the website Backstage, and that was very new to me. I never used it before, and because I really wanted to find passionate actors and people that I could push a little more than the people I've been working with already. And I did find two actors on there, Christian and Ryan, and I was very fortunate to find them. And part of the reason why I picked them is because in their film reels they looked like they knew each other. They had similar locations in them. So I assumed they submitted to be in the film together on opposite roles so they can act together. And I was kind of wrong. When I did finally meet the two, they did know each other because they were in the same acting class. But no, they did not submit at the same time like I thought they did. But it was a blessing in disguise because I really needed the character Julian and Tony to be old friends. So I needed that chemistry. And I think Ryan and Christian, both knowing each other, really did bring that chemistry. And their scene together is a very crucial scene. It goes on for 3 minutes, no cuts, and I believe they delivered 100%. So the next person I hired was Sofia, who played Kay. I met Sofia through a mutual friend, and I was so happy when she said yes to play the role. She also wants to be a up-and-coming filmmaker herself, so she also helped me with some of the production side on the day she was here. And I think she was a phenomenal choice. I think she brought a vulnerability to Kay, especially for those last moments when she is talking to Julian. And I think she did a phenomenal job, and I can't wait to work with her again. When I wrote the part of Nathan, there was only one person I could think of to play it, and it's my friend Bryce. This is the third time I've worked with him, and Bryce is a very delight to work with. He is very physical. He will give you the best physical performance you can think of. and his enthusiasm in film brings it to another level, and he's always the type of person to be there. So even at one point I needed someone to hold a boom mic, and Bryce was there to do it. Amazing actor. I couldn't ask for anything better than that. And lastly, the play of Paul was my dad, Jack Minnelli Sr. And my dad, this is the third time he's been in a film with me, and I'm just happy to be working with my dad. I think he does a good job. The structure of the film has been the same since the beginning. Julian is at the end, waiting for something. Don't want to spoil it. He thinks about the events of the film, and then back to the beginning, which is the end, and the final aftermath. That's always been the same. That's in the film you can watch right now. But what has changed is location. So what I said before, the location of the film, beginning and ending, was supposed to be at a poolside. But I couldn't get the poolside. So I took what I had access to, which was this warehouse office, and I made that my beginning and ending piece. Julian looking out the window instead of looking out at the water. And I also changed a bunch of the dialogue options there. I've really cut it down to the bare minimum, and almost it made it silent for the most part. There was much more dialogue between Julian and Nathan in the script than it was on that day. And the reason why I changed that was because I really felt like you didn't need it. I really felt like the two performances were giving everything already with their emotions on their face, or how they held themselves and how they walked. How Bryce, how he walked into the door at the end, or how Julian stares out to the window and, contemplating his existence. Did he make the right choices? I don't know. It's not really for me to judge. It's for you to judge. And I really felt that it made the film much more powerful and much more impactful than the script itself. So that long take in the middle of the film with Julian and Tony was always intentional. That's how I always wanted it. I even thought about doing, medium shots or close-ups, but I didn't want to do that. I really just wanted a long take, and for a short film, a 3-minute take is pretty long. It's only 8 minutes in 30 seconds. So it's almost half the film is this long take of these two old friends talking. And it really needed to work. If it didn't work, the whole film is kaput. And like I said already, I think the two actors delivered. It took us about 5 takes to get that done. And, within those 5 takes, we changed it a little. We add some more blocking. The actors put their input. I put my input, and we changed the scene a little from the script. And I think it really makes something a little magical in those moments, because if their performance does not come alive at that moment, the scene's done. It doesn't work. But Julian, Christian, and Ryan really used their own natural chemistry and made something of the scene. On another note, I want to comment on filming in a warehouse. Now, it's been my dream to film in a warehouse since I started writing my screenplays. And then one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Jack, you're an independent filmmaker with no money. How the heck are you going to film in a warehouse? Now, lucky for me, I fell in love with this beautiful woman, and her family has a warehouse. So, I was fortunate to marry into a warehouse. So, having that warehouse scene at the beginning between Christian, Nathan, Bryce, and my dad, Paul, is a dream come true because I never thought I could do it. So, thank you, wife and family, letting me use the warehouse. The equipment I use on the film is a Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro. It's an amazing camera. I love it. I probably won't be making films without it because I do believe you need a decent camera to motivate you to make your films. Yes, you can use your phone. I have access to an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it can make decent pictures. But I really think a decent camera puts you as a filmmaker in that mindset. The lenses I used was the Sigma Art 18-35 and the 50-100. Very nice lenses. I love them a lot. I use a Rode video mic, and I use only about 3 different lights, aperture, and I really kept it bare bones. I didn't really have a crew. Like I said, at max it was me and one other person, and the one other person was an actor on the film. So yeah, I couldn't have all these lights, I couldn't have all these microphones because I was by myself and I needed to worry about shooting the film and working with the actors to get the shot done. So it was very bare bones, and that's how I kind of like it. You know, it has a little grungy feeling to it, and I don't know. It's the way I like to make films. Thank you for watching. If you want to see my short film, When Julian Saved Kay, click the link right here. And please comment down below. Tell me if you're an up-and-coming filmmaker, what you think about filmmaking, what's your philosophy, and subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell for notification. Hit that thumbs up. Tell me that you like this. And maybe watch some of my other short films. I got 3 more on there. I got Hit Me, Tate's 2, and Missing. 3 pretty good short films. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks again. I've been Jack Minnelli, signing